Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and we are chatting with our friends Faye Luepton, Director of PR and Marketing for Promises to Kids, joined by Roberto Lopez, Guardian Scholar for the organization. My co-host is Aaron Tanner. And the mission, again, is to work with foster kids, correct?
That's right. Our mission is to create a brighter future for foster children here in San Diego County.
Right, exactly. And as the Guardian Scholar, that's a program, Roberto, of Promises, correct?
It is a program of Promises.
Right. And how long did it take to get through that program?
I'm actually still a part of the program.
Okay.
It's a program until I'm done with school, actually. So it's a pretty great program.
Right. And Faye, how many folks go through this?
So we have this year, there are nearly 300 in the Guardian Scholars program itself.
There's 300, right. But you said there's 3,000, we were talking about this a little bit ago, 3,000 foster youth in San Diego County, or 3,000 that you folks work with?
So there's nearly 3,000 current and former foster youth in San Diego County, many of which participate in one or more of the programs that we offer.
Right, exactly. And you guys have been around for 40 years and so forth, doing just this wonderful work, to say the least. And how many of the folks like Roberto will come back and actually work for you folks or become mentors?
There have been a few. I can't say off the top of my head, but we do. What's really great is actually one of our programs, as we mentioned, Guardian Scholars. Through that, we have what's called Youth to Youth. So those are Youth to Youth peer mentors. So many of our Guardian Scholars are Youth to Youth peer mentors. And what that means is that they mentor youth who are currently in the foster care system, because they do have that shared lived experience. They're able to walk them through some of the things that they have gone through in their past and share insight and help provide them with resources and really be there to support them in what they need.
Yeah, before I turn it over to Aaron and ask a little bit about Foodies for foster kids, Pinwheels for Prevention, this is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, correct?
That's right.
And the Pinwheels for Prevention, why don't you give us a little bit of a download on that, so to speak?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, this month being National Child Abuse Prevention Month, Promises to Kids is selling blue pinwheels to anyone who would like to come out and support the cause. And on April 26th, all of the pinwheels will be planted at the County Administration Center on the lawn there for San Diego's Pinwheels for Prevention Garden. And we will be having a press conference at 1 p.m. inviting anyone who wants to join us. That will be done in conjunction with the County of San Diego, as well as Child Welfare Services, to raise awareness about the need to prevent child abuse.
No, that sounds terrific. Aaron?
Yeah, that's going to be such a beautiful visual. Just all the pinwheels on the lawn there.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Very cool. So Foodies for Foster Kids, you guys have partnered with local restaurants to raise awareness. Tell us about where we could find the list of restaurants that you guys have partnered with and more about that.
Yes, so this will be our 5th year doing our Foodies for Foster Kids campaign. We are partnering with, I think it's over 25 restaurants this year, which is really, really great. And all of them have designated a menu item for the entire month of May. So when that item is sold, a portion of proceeds gets donated back to Promises to Kids to, of course, help foster youth through our programs. And we can find a complete list that'll be up on our website at promises2kids.org. So there's everything from sweet to savory. There's definitely something for everybody.
Very cool. Such a creative way to involve the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, how much of the community do you think, Faye, really understands, the foster youth system here in San Diego, or they just are not quite aware of it? You guys have done a great job for 40 years.
Thank you.
To putting a footprint on it. But what do you think the awareness level is?
I think it's definitely getting much better, obviously, through the work that we do and getting the word out there. That really is the goal and the purpose of everything that we do, to raise awareness, more and more about things that aren't often talked about. So I'm grateful to be here today and to be able to share this with everyone listening right now.
Right, exactly. We're chatting with Faye Luepton. She's the Director of PR and Marketing for Promises to Kids, joined by Roberto Lopez, a Guardian Scholar. We're going to get to Roberto's story in a few seconds here. He's got some wonderful universities he's going to be attending. He already goes to Grossmont College. We're going to hear his story in a few seconds. As you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, these wonderful Mission Fed studio in Scripps Ranch. Mission Fed's been doing great things for more than 60 years. For San Diegans. And so, Roberto, you're at Grossmont College. Your interest is social work, correct?
Yes, sir.
Why'd you choose that?
To be honest, just to get back to the community. I've had great resources, and just along the lines, I've always been a passion just to give back.
Terrific. So, 3 universities you're applying for. They are?
So I applied for 4.
4, excuse me.
But I got accepted to 3 already, which is Long Beach, and San Marcos. I'm waiting to hear back from SDSU.
Very, very good. And then SDSU will be your top choice?
It will be.
Is that because of the way the team played in their basketball tournament?
That, and I also do live on campus, and I do know a lot of the basketball players too. So
you do?
Yeah.
Who do you know?
KJ Solheim.
Okay.
And Butler.
Oh,
Butler,
good.
Sorry.
Butler?
Yeah, Malcolm.
Yeah, right. So they had a great run, of course. I'm an Aztec for life, by the way. Faye, where'd you go to school?
I actually went to school in Canada.
Where?
University of Calgary.
Beautiful. My mom was a Canuck. She grew up in Saskatchewan.
Oh, just next door to us.
That's right. But, I don't hear the A and the oot and the boot in your voice. So when did you move here?
11 years ago.
My goodness.
It's been a while.
Very. How about you? Where did you go to school, by the way?
I was, here. I'm San Diego through and through.
San Diego through and through. No, that sounds terrific. Roberto, talk a little about your experience as a Guardian Scholar. What did you learn? What were you apprehensive at all? How did the folks like Faye and the team make you feel comfortable? Talk about that.
To be honest, this has been quite a journey, and honestly, it's been a privilege to be a part of Promises to Kids. They've helped me out tremendously in so many ways and impacted my life in a lot of different ways. They've actually helped me out with leadership skills, obtaining a mentor, and just really changing my perspective of life. Growing up as a foster youth, you really don't see really a future or just any kind of outcome of where your life will be. And they actually established, like I said, a foundation for myself and taught me that there is more than what I thought there was in life.
I bet that really helps. And you could jump on this too, Faye, and certainly Aaron as well, that when you're working with other foster youth, I mean, you've obviously, walked the talk, so to speak, and you've had the street cred for it. What do you tell people if they're a little apprehensive that, hey, you're going to be fine, this is a great program? Talk about that.
Oh, no, I tell them right away what a tremendous program it is and how helpful it is, take advantage of the resources that they provide, Before, I didn't really understand what a community really was, and having that community behind me is just significant.
Yeah, and I'm sure you hear that quite a bit, Faye, and that's just got to warm your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to piggyback on what Roberto said as well, a lot of the youth coming into our program may not have a support system behind them. They may have nobody there to care for them, no one that they can call and lean on. So for many of them, we hear that, you guys are the only support system I have. So that is the reason why building relationships is so critical to what we do, providing them with mentoring, whether that's a one-on-one mentor or through group mentoring. We want to make sure that they establish those relationships and have a network, for when they are done with college, they still have people they can go to, including us. We're never out of their life, so we're here for good.
You bring up a very good point on this, and Aaron, you want to get your sense on this because you love working in this space as well. And if nothing else, I've learned it from you folks, Faye, having on the show so much, and our good friend Don Wells from Just in Time for Foster Youth. There's a lot of great programs there, but knowing the trust is something that a lot of adults have let down the foster kids, to say the least. And to build that trust is not easy to do. Is that correct, Roberto?
No, it's very correct. We come from broken trust, so it's hard to even build that relationship. And one thing I can say about Promises to Kids is I'm very thankful, and I could trust them behind myself,
Yeah, Yeah, Aaron, that is such a good point. And we just take for granted some of this stuff, correct?
Yeah, it kind of recalls this. Stephen Covey wrote a book called The Speed of Trust, and how quickly we it's like we don't recognize that we don't know it until we don't have it or we lose it. And then it's, how do I navigate this space? And so to have that, a space where you can go where adults are behind you, and that just keeps building upon, I can trust. And then, lives are changed that way.
Yeah, no, it's so important. And so, Roberto, how did they, working with Faye and some of the other folks, how did they gain your trust? What did they have to, they had to be consistent, I imagine, correct?
Well, consistent was the key. But honestly, when I fell down, they were there to pick me up, providing the resources that they provide, the stipends, it helps with my car bill, the mentors that they provide for myself, just the leaderships that they give me the opportunity to grow.
Yeah, I want to come back from break. I want to talk a little bit more about that, because that's such a critical component, and that's in your DNA, Faye, and you personally, and of course the organizations. But when we come back from break, I want to talk about a little bit more. You brought it up, about Camp Connect, and talk a little bit more about the foster funds and so forth, and the Polinsky Center. And as Faye, as you know, you've been on the show before. We always save time to what can our listeners do to help support your efforts and what Roberto wants to do. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
We're going to be right back with our friends from Promises to Kids, Faye Luepton, Director of PR and Marketing, joined by Guardian scholar Roberto Lopez, soon to be hopefully an Aztec, or maybe a Cal State San Marcos student, or a Beecher at Long Beach State. Also joined by my co-host Aaron Tanner. As you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for 60 years. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for San Diegans for 60 years. We are with our good friends from Promises to Kids, Faye Luepton, Director of PR and Marketing, joined by Roberto Lopez, Guardian scholar. You've got a career in radio, by the way. You're very well spoken. So if you ever want to switch from social work, come and see us, okay? And we'll get you a job here.
Thank you.
Very, very good. And then, of course, my co-host, Aaron Tanner, and I know you got a question right out of the gate for Faye.
I sure do. You guys have programs. You've spoken about youth to youth and then the Guardian Scholars. What are the other ones that you guys provide?
Yeah, so we have what's called our Camp Connect program, and really the goal of that is to reunite siblings who have been separated in foster care. So when a child enters care, many times the guardian that is taking them, may have children of their own, and they're not able to take the youth as well as their siblings. So youth get separated and maybe in different foster homes or group homes, and so we want to make sure that they're able to maintain their relationship. So every month we have really cool events that we do for the kids. And this summer, actually every summer, we do a summer camp for them where they're able to just get away with their siblings, have that sleepover that they may have never had, and enjoy a bunch of different activities.
The thoughtfulness that you guys consider so many things, from the birthday parties to the extracurricular activities that you give them opportunities to go to this. Well done. My goodness.
Thank you.
Right. Have you done Camp Connect? Have you been part of it?
I actually haven't done that yet.
Okay, right. So Faye, is he possibly going to be a counselor at Camp Connect?
Maybe. I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet, but could be a possibility.
Yeah, my job is to make sure people have a lot of work to do in that aspect of it. But Faye, maybe before I go back to Roberto and talk about his journey and so forth, talk about the Polinsky Center, what it does, what it offers for these kids.
Yeah, so the A.B. and Jesse Polinsky Center is a place for foster youth to go to where they are safe and out of harm's way if they have nowhere else to go, if they have been removed from their homes due to child abuse and neglect. And we make sure that we are serving everyone from birth. That may be for some of them their first stop, and that they are getting the support that they need to, become the best that they can be.
Right. And is there a certain age when they get to 18 or whatever, that they can't be in the center anymore, or they can be in the center for how long?
It is up until 18 at the center.
Right.
However, the really great thing about Promises to Kids is that through our other programs, we are able to help them and help them navigate, their teenage years all the way through to adulthood.
Right. We're chatting with Faye Luepton. She is the Director of PR and Marketing for Promises to Kids, joined by Guardian Scholar Roberto Lopez. I'm Drew Schlosberg, joined by my co-host Aaron Tanner, as you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. Cloudcast Media brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing spectacular work for San Diegans for more than 60 years. So, Roberto, what advice would you give to those folks who are just getting involved with Promises to Kids? Obviously, we talked about trust, of course, and that was big. But what else would you tell them?
I would tell them to really just give it a chance. Coming from the group home environment, chances are really hard to give, but taking that option and really letting them provide the help that they can, is really what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. So, Faye, we always ask this question, as you well know, so I know you're prepared for it. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
So there are many ways to support. As we talked about earlier, with it being National Child Abuse Prevention Month, you could visit our website, promises2kids.org, to purchase a blue pinwheel. What many people may not know is that every day there are 5 children that die in the United States due to child abuse and neglect. So even by purchasing a pinwheel at $25, a little does truly go a long way. Now, if you're not able to do that, you can also become a volunteer with our organization. You can become a mentor for youth like Roberto. You can become a foster parent, or also simply just wearing the color blue all month long and hashtagging Wear Blue for Kids. That too will help spread awareness.
Yeah, no, that makes all the sense in the world. And what type of volunteer opportunities? The person to my left is a great volunteer. Here I'm giving her even more hours to do and all that aspect of it. What type of things can people do?
There are a number of different things. So as I mentioned, you can be a mentor, whether that's a one-on-one mentor to a youth or a group mentor. We have different events throughout the year, many of those being with our youth who participate in Camp Connect. So there's lots of fun activities. We always are looking for volunteers to join in on those. They do everything from hanging out at the beach, going to Disneyland, you name it, we do it pretty much. Movie screenings, everything. And then also we have other events like our annual Dream On Concert Gala. We are always looking for volunteers for that event as well.
Is this 18 and up that you have to be in order to become a volunteer? Can families get involved?
Yeah, so it just depends on what the opportunity is, but we certainly have different groups. For example, we do have a mom and daughter group, NCL, and they are able to help us with certain things like packaging different items that we send out to those who are in college, our college care packages. So they help in that sense. If you are working with the youth, you do have to be a little bit older.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And how about, product? I mean, if people have computers or people have books or people have, obviously their expertise you'd like to as well for mentors, but is there stuff they can donate, couches and whatever?
So we do take certain items. They
Right.
do have to be new items.
Right.
So those can be dropped off at our location, or you can give us a call to arrange that drop off. We want to make sure that our foster youth do have new items that they're able to put to good use and make
Right.
sure that they are on the same level as their peers and, have what they need.
Right. So, Roberto, because you're so smart and bright, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, all right? And I know you can handle it. Just for 1 second, pretend I'm Bill Gates, okay? Or whoever. But now I've got $53 billion to my name. Convince me that I should be involved with Promises to Kids and especially the Guardian Scholars. Why should I get involved with you guys?
Well, I think you should just get involved just for the impact that it does for all the current and former foster youth. Just the support that they provide is endless, Like I mentioned before, just all the mentorships, all the programming that they do, all the events that they provide us for, whether if it's something that we need emergencies, they help us with it. That would be one of the major reasons why I believe you would be able to do it.
Right.
Support.
No, that's a very good answer. You sold me, and I'll write my $1 billion check as soon as it gets deposited in my account. And listen, you are just a perfect example, a model for why it's so important. Look at you. You're going to be going to one of these fine universities. You're going to be giving back in the community. Who knows? Maybe you'll run your own type of Promises to Kids program down the road. So just honored to meet you, Roberto, and wishing you nothing but great luck. Aaron and I are going to be able to say we knew him when he becomes something great. So thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Drew, and thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any final comments?
Really just encouraging everyone out there listening to help spread awareness in any capacity that you can, whether that is just spreading the word about child abuse prevention or what foster care is, or making a donation, volunteering, becoming a mentor, whatever it is that you are able to do. Every little bit does help these youth and show them that there are truly people out there in the community that care and want to help and see them succeed. Nothing that we do is possible without our community support. We are primarily philanthropy funded, so do appreciate anything that people are able to do.
And that website is?
Promises2kids.org.
Faye, always a pleasure having you on. Great content for our listeners. Roberto is our honor. We'll look forward to following your career as you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community, a show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things for more than 60 years. And Aaron Tanner, another great job as co-host, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.